let's talk about networking. Hey, my name is Alex Tremble. If this is your first time joining our channel, thank you so much for joining us. See, this channel is focused on specifically helping people move and advance their career to reach their goals. See, I have a pet peeve. My pet peeve is that all too often we have these trainings set up to teach competencies or specific skills, but we actually don't tie those competencies and skills into teaching people how to use that to advance their career. And for the most part, when people go to training, it's because they want to advance in their careers. It's like teaching someone how to move chess pieces up and down a board, but not teaching them how to strategically win a game. Yes, one is great, but if you don't know how to win the game, is it really helpful? So today specifically, I want to talk to you about networking. And even more specifically, I want to share with you three really key questions, three powerful questions that you can ask when you're networking and building relationships that will not only help you build a relationship much quicker, but will make you look really smart. So before we get started, as always, I greatly appreciate, please click that subscribe button if you haven't done it already. And if you've done that, then go on and take a second to click the notification button. Again, I post videos weekly, and I'm telling you, doing these two things really does help out the algorithm, helps the channel out, helps to spread the word. And again, I greatly appreciate it. So go on and click that like button, click the subscribe button, and click that notification button. You've done that, let's go. Let me tell you a quick story though. A few years ago, I was asked to go to a speed networking event for a college, actually a university out in Baltimore. And as I sat there in the chair, as these students were going around taking turns talking to all of us, one student has been seared into the back of my mind. I think of her every time I think about networking. This is why I want to share this story. See, when she sat down, the first thing she said to me was, "Hey, my name is such and such. Can you get me a job?" My immediate reaction was, I don't know you. Why would I base my name, my reputation on someone I didn't know? And that's the reality. Way too many people go into these networking opportunities trying to get a quick fix. Networking is not something you do overnight. If you're looking for a job, you don't start networking when you look for a job. You start networking 6 months, 12 months, 2 years before you need a new gig. So these strategies I'm going to lay out to you today are something that are going to be really powerful, really strong. But I want you to realize that having one conversation with someone is not going to just change your life. Now, yes, it may. There's always that you meet that one person who is a very single person. They love what they saw when they met you. That's great and that's awesome. But that's not normal. So I want you to know that when you start this process, when you start this networking journey, it takes time. It's exactly what it is. It's a journey. So that first question, the first question I ask people, and I love to ask them, is, so how you plan on taking over the world? Yes, that is a Pinky in the Brain reference, NARF. And I love that question. The reason why I ask that question is because it's a bit playful. Most people in my generation, the millennial generation, remember Pinky in the Brain. So something that's gonna, again, have maybe a little smile, if not on their face, in their brain. So start to build that relationship. It shows a little bit about who I am. But also, the second reason I ask that question is because I want to know what their goals are. See, by understanding what their goals are, I can now start thinking, okay, how can I help this person be successful? When people ask me what questions to ask, I always like to start with questions that allows me to learn what challenges that person is going through, what goals and aspirations that person have. Because if I have this information, I can start trying to find strategic ways to help that person. And let me tell you, the more people you help, the more that will help you. I'm telling you, I promise you, it will work. Now, if you start off with that question, you may say, so how you plan on taking over the world? And they may laugh, or maybe they don't understand what you're talking about. And that happens too. So like, what? Because it's a kind of a question that may knock you off your feet, make you stumble a little bit. And that's okay. Because then you follow up with, well, what's your goals? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? If you ask those questions, that clarifies it, right? And so now they start to think about it. Well, I'm not sure what my goals are. Or I really want to do X, Y, and Z. Again, the more information you have about them, the more you can help them. And if they said they don't know what their goals are, then you start a conversation based off of that. Wow, I'm going through a similar situation. Or wow, what are you interested in? What do you love doing? Again, trying to find more information about them. So that's the first question. The second question I love to ask is not something I ask in the beginning. It's something I ask more so in the middle. And if I'm building a relationship with someone who I think is influential or smart or I can learn something from, this second question is key and it's so powerful. The second question is, what's the most important advice that you've ever received? Who shared it with you and why would you consider it that important? You see what I did? That's going to get them to think. This is not a question you're going to ask right in the beginning because you don't want to just throw someone off their bearings right in the beginning with a deep question like that. But if you're in mid-conversation, again, you're starting to see that this person has great value. They have something that you can learn from them. You want to continue to build this relationship, ask that question. It's going to start getting them to think, wow, what is the most important thing I've learned? Okay, you know what? There was this quote by Warren Buffett, or you know what, Jay-Z said, or you know what, my mentor when I was just starting off my career, he told me X, or she told me Y. And that will get them again to start thinking. And when they start thinking of those good moments, those good emotions, they will then tie those emotions to you. And that makes you have a stronger relationship with that person. So I love asking that question. Again, somewhere in the middle. You don't want to ask it right in the beginning, and that's not something you want to ask in the end because it kind of just it kind of just doesn't have anything after it, right? You can have a good conversation with it, but you want to ask that in the middle because you want to have some follow-up conversation when you ask that question. And again, I love that question. The third question, which I love asking, and that I recommend to all of my clients. I learned it, a couple years ago now, from John Maxwell. He said that when he was networking and building relationships with CEOs and presidents and all of these other significant influential individuals, when he was coming up and he started developing those relationships, he would ask this one question. And this one question changed his life. See, this one question allowed him to meet so many more individuals and broaden his relationships. This one question is, who do you know that I should know? A simple question, but a powerful question. See, this is not a question you can ask in the beginning. Because like I said, in the beginning, if you ask something like that, I don't know you well enough to connect you with my relationships. Because, if I connect you with someone and you don't perform or if you act out in some way, that reflects on me. And so I don't ever connect people right off the top with people I know unless I know their personality. I know their values. I know they're going to perform. I know who they are. But you know what? If I've built a relationship with someone, if I can trust them, I know their character, and they ask me that question, I'm going to think. And see, the way the question is structured is, look, I'm telling you, it's powerful. Because it's not who do you know, not just some random person that you can connect me with. Who do you know that I should know? See, that second part of the question directs their thought towards what you may need. See, what experiences you have or maybe experiences that you need or where you want to be, where your goals are. It directs their thought process to looking for individuals within their network who they know, one, will be open to meeting you and talking to you, but two, are tied to the goals that you want to reach. I love that third question. Now, because you stayed this long, I want to share something, a secret with you. So I do a lot of career coaching, and I get contracted out to federal organizations to work with senior level leaders and do one-off coaching relationships, one-off coaching calls. That means that I am going to meet someone one day. I've never met them before. I'm going to go into a room with them, and I have a 2 to 3 hour conversation with them. And I've gotten the question many times, how do you do that? How do you just walk into a room with a random person and have a beneficial conversation for 2 to 3 hours? That's a lot of time. Let me tell you, it is a lot of time. But I was asked that question this past week, and I told them that, see, there's a trick to it. See, when I walk into these rooms, that means I have to build a relationship like this, right? I don't have weeks to build a relationship. I don't have days to build a relationship. I have minutes to build a relationship to the point where these people will trust me and allow me to help them work their, identify how to best maneuver their career. So I got seconds, I got minutes. So how do I do that? I do that by not focusing on work. See, again, that's the problem that way too many people have, is they think when they're networking that they have to focus on the workplace, the environment, the occupation. That's not what people care about. That's not what people truly care about. What people truly care about, what are their hobbies? How many siblings do they have? Their family. What do they do for fun? That's what people care about. And so when I walk into a room, I look at that person and I look to see what they're wearing, how they walked in, what was did they have a biker backpack on? I start to see who they are. And then I start with really simple questions. Hey, how you doing today? Oh shoot, how do you get to work? Oh, you bike to work? I remember when I used to bike to work. It's crazy. I loved how much exercise I had, but then I stopped. Oh, you stopped before? See, I tell people it's like magic, right? If you look at a magician, these people can build relationships really quickly because all they're doing is asking that person a question, and then they tie it back to themselves, right? So if I were to ask you, so where are you from? You from DC? And you say, oh no, I'm from Ohio. But oh, you're from Ohio? I spent half my life in Ohio. Oh, in Cleveland, my family's from Akron, so I used to swing through there. Well, my family's not actually from Akron. My family's from Youngstown. So any of my family watching this right now, I'm calling you out. But see, even if I wasn't from Ohio, if I said, hey, how you doing? So where are you from? You from Ohio? What? I've heard a lot about Ohio. I heard it's really green out there. How do you like it? Let's say I had been to Ohio, but I didn't like it. Oh, so you're from Ohio? Oh, shoot. I went out to Ohio one time and the car broke down. I can't believe. How do you deal with it? Ohio's just so wide open. How did you deal with that? Again, whatever someone says, you can find a tie to it. I use an example I use in a lot of my talks is that, oh shoot, you have six sisters. I have 4 sisters. It's crazy, right? What if they don't have sisters? Well, you don't have any sisters? I got 6 sisters. Let me tell you, I'm the oldest and I'm always done with everyone fighting. Or let's just say they have 2 sisters and a brother. Yep, I got a little brother. Whatever it is. Everything someone says, you can tie to yourself. And then the reason you're doing this is because you're building an emotional connection with that individual. See, they're not going to remember all the facts within that first networking conversation, that first relationship building conversation. Not going to remember all those facts about you that you shared, but they will remember their emotions. And if you can tie yourself to those positive emotions that they've had throughout their life, their family, where they're from, where they like to do for fun, then I promise you, they'll remember you. See, what I like to say is, when someone picks up the phone, they see my name, or they see my name in the email or see my name in text, I want them to smile. If they smile, I know that I built that emotional connection, that they want to hear from me. What you don't want is them to be mad. If they see your name pop up and they're like, ugh, okay, that's not good for you. And probably the worst is them to see your name and, okay. See, what most people don't understand is that the goal of a networking conversation is not to learn everything about that person. The goal of the networking conversation is to have another conversation. If you speak to someone once and they never talk to you again, did you really benefit? Did you have the opportunity to benefit them? But if you can speak to someone once, again, you don't got to get everything about their career and their life and everything. But if you speak to them once and they want to talk to you again, to have a second, a third, a fourth conversation, that then provides you with real, true, meaningful relationship where you can go on and help them in the future, and hopefully and maybe one day they'll help you. So let me ask you, what are your favorite networking questions? What are your thoughts on networking? What challenges have you had with networking? Please comment below. I'm going to take these comments and I'll respond to them. But also, if there's some specific topics you want me to address, I will address those comments in future videos. If you felt this was helpful, please share this with your friends, your family, your wider network. And as always, stay strong, stay positive, and definitely stay moving.